many of our operational ideas and I guess strategies on how to run this business here in Minneapolis have come through maybe a frontline employee from AirServe talking to one of our redcoats or one of our performance leaders who sends me a note, or they talk to me directly, or they talk to one of your managers directly. And there's multiple points of input for this discussion. You know, like any business, not every suggestion we get, we act upon. And, you know, sometimes that might be rough.
Mr. Geisler. Thank you, Chairwoman. I just want to make sure I'm hearing what I think I hear, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I heard you say that all your employees are provided all the same basic training before they're put on the job. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And a cart driver, before they can drive a cart, has not only had to go through all that basic training, but also has had to go through the extra training and licensing to become a cart driver.
Yes, sir.
I think I heard you say that there is an expectation that cart drivers do get off of their cart and assist passengers as needed. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I would expect that if it's an expectation that if a cart driver is not willing to do that, there would be consequences.
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Madigan and Commissioner Hamel.
Chair, thank you, gentlemen. The presentation's been helpful. As you know, representatives of AirServe's employees have asked the MAC to consider certain policies to confer benefits that your employees currently don't have. To Commissioner Monaco's point, can you detail the discussions that you have relative to training and sort of day-to-day concerns? What process do you intend to follow to specifically discuss those benefit issues? Because I think I speak for the entire Commission. If this is a problem that AirServe and its employees can resolve, the Commission would be most grateful. And then secondly, and hopefully you can resolve that, in parallel to that, however, our staff is taking a look at some different options, and presumably sometime in the future we'll come up with some policy options for the commissions. Can you outline for us how you and perhaps even Delta will engage in a dialogue about those options in an effort to try to resolve this?
Well, just for a point of clarification, when you refer to benefits, are you talking about medical benefits, or are you talking about?
No, my understanding that AirServe employees are interested in worker retention, more specific worker retention policy, is interested in vacation pay and other personal time off specifically. And those are the issues that representatives of AirServe's employees have asked the Commission to look at.
So quickly, every employee has what we refer to as PTO, or paid time off. But that starts accruing and is available for use after 1 year of employment. In the meantime, every employee, regardless of which contractor they work or which position they're in, have unlimited day trades and shift trades available to them. So they have full 100% control and flexibility over their work schedule simply by saying, you know I have a conflict next Monday, I can't work. Ben, would you work for me next Monday, and then I can work for you on your selected day? All they have to do is fill out a form. As long as that form has both signatures of those employees and they agree to swap, then we approve it and it's a done deal. That doesn't have to be reciprocated. I could go to Ben and say, Ben, I need Monday off, will you cover for me? And Ben will say, yes, but I want to keep all my other shifts as well because I like the overtime, I don't want to lose the pay. We allow that. We do not mandate that shift swap is reciprocated. So they have ultimate flexibility to plan ahead of time, plan in advance, and get their vacation and take their time off and take the kids to the doctor and attend the school functions just by putting a little bit of effort into working with that. The benefit of the actual paid time off, that accrues, like I said, after 1 year, accrues and you can use it immediately.
To me, and I suspect to other commissioners, if as you're engaging in this dialogue with representatives of your employees, to highlight what's currently being offered, what the position of the employees are. I really don't have an understanding of where the battle lines are, so to speak, and it would be helpful to me if somebody could define those issues and refine the issues so that we find out whether we have an issue that's appropriate for the promulgation of a policy, or whether it's something that should be left just to Air Serv and its employees.
Commissioner Hamlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is actually sort of a follow-up on Commissioner Geisler's questions, which I believe relate to the point that current staff has been threatened with termination if they didn't perform wheelchair assistance. I presume you have a job description for each employee. And is each employee given a copy of that job description before they start working, before when they're hired?
Yes, sir. The job descriptions are handed out during the job fairs and the interviews, and usually they know what they're interviewing for before they come in and see us. They also have a pretty good idea of which positions are higher paying and which positions have larger gratuities associated with those. So the car driver is the most coveted position in the airport. Job descriptions go with that. We do communicate, again, the expectation is, yes, you drive a car, and you may be working 8 hours a day, and we're going to let you drive a car for 8 hours, but if there's one flight that we're short, and we need to contractually and provide a customer service experience that we have one pusher for every customer, we may ask you to get off that car and assist. There is some resistance to that. I'm not personally aware of anybody who's been threatened to be fired if they refuse to get off and push that wheelchair. But there is definitely a very well-established, identified steps, progression steps of discipline where we do give coaching and written evaluations and warnings if you're not complying with what we've asked you to do.
And so I guess my question goes, that they've been given notice that a part of their job description is wheelchair?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for coming. This has been a good discussion. Do your employees, are they able to accept gratuities?
Yes, every single one of them can.
Okay, so whether you're on a wheelchair or cart, you could. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Just to follow up on that, do they have to report gratuities to you? Or?
They do not have to report to us.
Okay.
They can voluntarily report to us, and we'll put it in payroll and have taxes withheld, or they can handle that independently.
Thank you, Chair. As you know, some of your employees have come to the MAC asking the MAC to take some action with respect to various policies. I think it'd be remiss, at this point, just not to if we didn't ask, would you like to see us take any action on any of the requests that have come before us, and would you prefer that we not? And the question goes both to Air Serv and Delta.
Well, I'll let Delta answer first.
Well, I'd like to think we can handle those all internally. We have a tenant-landlord relationship, and those around the world, I think tenants would prefer to be tenants, and landlords would prefer to be landlords.
Commissioner Geisler? Thank you, Chair Goldberg. Just a couple more follow-up questions. You talked a lot about training, and you talked about open door policy, staff briefings, town hall meetings. Were you aware of the allegations that came before us at our last M&O meeting that you refused to address some of these issues?
I was made aware after the meeting.
Were you aware of them, or were either one of you aware of them before that meeting?
No, and I would add too that the practice of occasionally taking cart drivers and having them assist with wheelchair pushes was a practice long established before Air Serv arrived on property. And I'd also like to reiterate that it's not Delta's desire to do that, because when we pull that cart out of service, now my 3-minute example turns into 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and that doesn't work in the model. So we want to right staff both, but today's a great example. There are times where you cannot predict the peaks and valleys, and you have to have a backup plan. And backup plan is to use cart drivers from time to time to assist with wheelchairs.
So the allegation that we were given last meeting that you refused to meet with the employees about this issue, from your perspective, would be untrue.
It is untrue.
Right. And then I would just reiterate what Commissioner Mattingly said. I would much rather have this resolved between the employees and the employer rather than have the commissions step in and have to get involved. Commissioner Peel.
I'm just curious on the personal time off. Is that so many hours per pay period? How does that accrue at the year?
The accrual is based on the rate of hours that you work in a pay cycle. So as you accrue them, you can use the number that you accrued.
And does that cover sick days, vacation days, that is to be used as the employee is sick days?
Yes, ma'am.
And is there, I don't know if this is something that you feel you can share or not, I don't need to ask anything inappropriate, but any idea how much personal time off, let's say, a 5-year employee might get a year?
So well, I'm not sure that I can answer that for you because every employee here obviously is brand new to the company. So the 5-year, typically up to 5 years, or up to 3 years, it's 40 hours. Okay, after 1 year, it's 3 years, it's 40. I would have to check on that after 3 years.
That's fine, that's enough of it.
Maybe Mr. Cox, maybe you could just share the written policy or something with the commission at some point.
I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you.
Chair, as a follow-up to that, perhaps as part of staff's work, they could solicit from representatives of the employees what they're asking for, so we have that understanding, and then we would have the understanding of what the current policy is. That would be helpful to me.
Any other questions from commissioners? No. Mr. Cox, Mr. Humphries, Mr. Mark, thank you very much. It was very informative. I think you understand, obviously you know how important this is to the commission, whether it's workers at the airport who are unhappy, have issues, or customer service issues. I mean, from our perspective, the unfortunate part about it is when somebody complains about card or wheelchair service, a lot of times they call us and think they're our employees, so, you know, don't mind us if we keep bugging you from time to time. But, and I was just curious, Mr. Humphries, do you share with staff the complaint reports and progress and stuff like that? I just wonder if Mr. Burke and his staff, you know, I sort of wondering myself, when do we step in and say, hey, Delta, get back up here, we got too many complaints we're hearing from, you know?
Yeah, Phil Burke has been a great partner all along. So we often talk about, you know, like I said, hotbeds around the airport where we're seeing complaints and what we can do about it. And our card monitoring project is wholly funded right now by Delta. And if we can, you know, get
Carl, something's going on with your phone, Carl, hang up.
part of that project, the ultimate vision is to have. Thank God, just hung up on. The ultimate vision of that project is to have monitors that face the customer, so when you are sitting in one of those chairs, the anxiety level doesn't creep up. You can see carts coming your way. The initial scope of the project included one of those monitors, and you know, again, if we can get this project functioning the way we want it, then we would probably want to partner in getting some more of these public monitors.
Sure. Just one last question. Is there any, when you sit in one of these group chairs, any signage, any chance that said if you need assistance with the cart, one should be by within 10 minutes, let's say, just to make the public aware of that?
Yeah, each one of these locations has signage for contacts to AirServe. And in reference to, you know, when you can expect to see the cars and that type of thing, the answer is no. But they do have contacts to reach AirServe.
Thank you. Well, I have a question here. Mr. Shlez, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question as far as trying to get international airport, any challenges or opportunities with regard to multilingual customers?
No, actually, we do very well with that. I think that the tablets are very helpful because we do use Google Translate on our tablets. So you can easily, if you have a communication issue, we can switch language and we can type in the question in their language and communicate with them that way.
We also have many language of destination interpreters at Delta.
Thank you.
All right. Plan, assistant plan.